Greetings everyone. I decided to continue my debates in video format. Let's see how that is working out for me. I picked a light topic as a starter, but the thing I'm gonna reveal might be mind-blowing anyways. People say a bunch of famous masculine influencers like Myron, Pearl, the Tate brothers, etc. are misogynists.
What would you do if I couldn't cook?
You'd be single.
Can you cook?
That's irrelevant.
No. Can you cook though?
I mean, can you fight? Let's ask pointless questions.
How is it a pointless question? I'm trying to get to know you.
Because that's your job.
What's my job?
To make sandwiches.
Did he actually just say, my job is to make sandwiches?
Women should clean. So when you walk into a house and you see mess, why is your lazy ass not doing the right thing and start picking and cleaning shit up?
But here is the thing, what sounds to be a feminist issue, is actually a classist issue. They are new money people, trying to pretend to be old money, without knowing the rules and etiquette. They are usually proud of their money, and label themselves, or the men they advertise, as high-value men. High value as per high class, old money people. But the thing is, if the only thing you can provide for your women is chores, you are a poor man. Let me explain. All we hear from them is tradition. But what real tradition was? High-class men were not working, they got the money from their lands, but they participated in politics. Their women gave political advice. As women see social situations better. That is what support meant from the women's side. That is why a good consort was, first things first, an advisor, and just after that a concubine. They did nothing else. Hell, they didn't even dress alone, they had a maiden for that. They just gave advice, and occasionally organized parties to show off their wealth. They did not even raise the kids, they had nursing nannies and teachers and governess. What provide and protect meant on men's side, was interesting too. As women were good in politics, but they usually didn't want to risk their own head. They did not, in person, participate in politics and took responsibility. They had husbands, and sons, who officially wore the crown or the rank, and if her advice failed, it was the men who got beheaded. This is what protection meant. Furthering their children's and wives' political interest, while also taking the responsibility. Not fighting, they had guards for that purpose. Sure, they sometimes fought, but only with other noble men, and not just any poor guy. Protecting the women from poor people was the guard's job. Now the next thing that is important to mention, and this is the main part of my point. See, the leading class was not allowed to do lowly jobs. You could be the manliest man in the world, but as a noble, you wasn't allowed to repair a toilet if it was broken. Noblemen in the past were proud to be fragile and have sensitive noble skin, they did not touch dirty stuff, in some places they did not even touch door handles, and the doors were opened for them. Also, if you were a high-class man, it was ideal to date and marry only your own class or above. And even if you dated a lower class, somehow, you got to pretend they are high class now that they are your women. What does this mean? If you were a noble, dating a noble, and the words "make me a sandwich" left your mouth, you were in big trouble. Bringing shame to your women, to her family, to your family, that was not acceptable. It was poor people, who couldn't afford to employ staff who said things like that. You were rich, you had a butler, you had a cook, you had maidens. You told your butler you want a sandwich, and the cook made it for you, and the maiden brought it to you. And you also asked for another sandwich, for your date, because, manners. Saying stuff like the woman's place is in the kitchen, or the woman nourishes you with anything, but advice, indicates you are a low-class man, who got lucky, and now has money. But it also indicates that you lack the education a noble man got. You get all this money, and yet, you don't know what a butler is for, or what a woman's job traditionally is, in the money world. Now I, personally, may or may not agree with old traditions, old manners, or modern roles, that doesn't matter. My point was, that masculine influencers a lot of the time are not being misogynist, just being new money. Thanks for watching, I'll be back to shock you again soon.